We are now rocking with the best. What's up, champ?
My guy, what's going on?
How you doing? You all right?
Chilling all the time.
All right. Before we dive into what it was like growing up, I want to talk about growing up in Flint, spending 4 years in Michigan playing for the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
One thing that I've always recognized, when I met somebody from Flint, they were just built different.
Yeah.
What is it about Flint that makes the people that come from there some of the toughest in the world?
Well, one I can say is the community, right? It's so hard to make it out of Flint. But I can say for me, the OGs, whatever mistakes that the OGs made, they told me about their mistakes. So it made me not make those same mistakes. Like when we talk about Mateen Cleaves.
Shout out to Mateen, that's my guy.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We're not related by blood, but that's like my uncle.
That's
we
family.
talk about Anthony Durrell, Andre Durrell, Bumper Lawson, Jason Crutchfield, Gene Gill. These are all older guys that were like greats from Flint, Michigan. And they all sold so much into me when I was a kid. So I had a rough upbringing, and my anger was bad, and I was different, like you said. And I fought harder than everybody else. I trained harder. I had a different mentality. But it's like that mentality has to be tamed.
Yeah.
And they were able to help me tame my mentality because they off rip was like, we already know what you got in you because we got it in us. But you don't need to make the same mistakes that we made. So I got a bunch of OGs in my life, you know what I'm saying? And I thank them every day. And one of my coaches, Gene Gill, said, Rest, you can box your butt off. But he said, if you don't fix your attitude, you ain't never gonna do nothing. And when he told me that, even though at the time I was upset, it stuck with me. But just being raised and born in Flint, we really are rough people.
Yeah.
We are.
You talked about the rough times growing up, and you have been very transparent about abuse that you faced, the rough times financially, inconsistent presence of a father in your life. One, why did you feel like it was important to share those things, and how did sharing those things help you heal?
Well, one, I felt like it was very important to share those things because it's so many other kids that are going through that. It's not just me. I think that us as celebrities and athletes, we want to put our trauma so far behind our head, we don't want to talk about it. We just want everybody to see the glitz and the glam. You want everybody to see you now.
Yeah.
You don't want them to see the hardships. But I think in order for people that come from the same backgrounds as us, they need to see that I wasn't always like this. I started off with my dad being in prison, my mom abusing alcohol. I started off where everything was written against me. And now I made it here. But how did I make it here? And I always want them to know, just because you are born in these situations, which a lot of us are, you can still make it. And I have to say, I was hiding the fact that I had been sexually abused and that I was raped for a long time. But somebody had told my boxing coach. And I was probably about 14 or 15, and he asked me about it. And I was so uncomfortable when he asked me about it. And I said, I don't want to talk about that. You know, in interviews.
Why did you respond that way?
For me, I felt like I didn't want people to look at me as a victim because I was working so hard to be a victor. You know, I was working on going to the Olympics and becoming an Olympic champion and breaking these records. I don't want to talk about things that I lost at. And I felt like back then I kind of blamed myself for what happened to me, so I didn't really understand it. But when people would interview me, they would ask me, oh, how was your upbringing? You know, how's your home life? And I would say, I had a rough upbringing, but we here now, you know, and that was my answer for a very long time. But they'd be like, we don't know anything about her. She won't tell us nothing.
Right.
And so my boxing coach said, you need to tell somebody, you know, you need to let it out, you know, and I didn't want that. But I went to this talk at U of M Flint, and a girl there had 4 siblings, and her mom was abusing drugs, but her mom sold her to somebody.
Oh, man.
And she told us that story about how she got sold to somebody and how she was, you know, sexually abused and raped. And I sat there and I said, well, what? I'm supposed to be this huge champion and be this beacon of hope,
This hero.
and I'm sitting here, she's just a regular girl.
And you're admiring her strength, to be honest and be transparent.
Right, and I'm sitting here hiding my struggle, hiding the things that I went through. And I said, my story can help somebody like her story just help me. So that's when I started being open about it. And it actually led to me having a conversation with my mom, which led to a lot of healing and made it to where me and her can be, we weren't cool growing up. I love my mom, but I can say I didn't like her.
Right.
Until we had a conversation when I turned 16, and I say, what happened? Where was you at? Where was your antennas? And then when we talked about it, hearing her point of view made me put a lot of anger that I had toward her away, and it made me forgive her, like God has forgiven me so many times.
I oftentimes feel like in our community, it's tough for us to talk about our traumas. Black folks, we feel like we need to hide it and always show up as the toughest, most resilient version of ourselves.
And we either gonna hide it or joke about it.
Hide it or joke about it. And it's especially true when it comes to our Black women. What is the message that you want to give to Black women out there who struggle with that, showing up every day for themselves, not just authentically, but vulnerably as well?
I would say find your people.
There you go.
You can't be vulnerable and you can't be open with everybody.
It's true.
So I say find your people who can understand exactly what you're talking about, who can be a listening ear and be like a good guidance for you, because some stuff you tell people and they run with it, they start gossiping and talking about it, and then you really feel bad. But it's like find the people that actually care about you to share those things with. And also, too, I'll tell those women, listen, you don't got to show up every day and be Superwoman. It's okay to have an off day. It's days where I cut my phone off. Can't nobody find me. Can't nobody reach me, because I want to go in my backyard, get in the pool, and sit there for a couple hours and just chill. Like, it's okay to disconnect from social media and people and friends. It's okay. They will live.
Yeah. You mentioned a long list of people, but I want to focus on one name, Jason Crutchfield.
My boxing coach.
Your
yes.
boxing coach has been with you since the age of 11. Initially, his view on women's boxing wasn't what it is now.
No.
What was that dynamic like early on when you started to fall in love with this sport and realize that you had something special, but even the people closest to you didn't see that?
You know what? I can say me walking into the boxing gym and seeing two grown men in there sparring, and the first thought I had to myself was, I can do that. And I remember saying that to Jason, and he said, that's the hardest thing to do. And I was like, I can do that, literally, like, easy. And he laughed. And I remember when he first started training me and I started working hard. And I can say that people talk about my bravado and how confident I am, but that's because Jason, I wasn't confident at first. I was just hard working. And like I am now, I'm still hard working, and I was disciplined, and I show up every day. But
so initially you were stubbornly determined, but having confidence is different.
No, I didn't have any confidence at the beginning.
How did he instill that in you?
He told me all the time.
Like what? Like what would he say?
He would tell me, like, Rest, you the best. You the greatest. And I'd be like, what? At first I'm like, what are you talking about? And I remember it was this girl named Tyler Laura Wilder. She was maybe a decade older than me at the time. She was ranked number 1 in the world for the USA at 178 pounds and number 2 in the world. So number 1 in America, but number 2 like throughout the entire world.
Yeah.
And she came out to our gym, and coach was like, you gonna spar her. And at the time, I had been sparring all the boys. Any girl I ever sparred, I stopped them. Like, I had so many KOs in my record in the amateurs. And we got dressed and put the gloves on. And coach was like, hey, how many rounds you want to go? Tyler looked at me up and down and said, I'll give her about 4 rounds, and then she'll be done. Like, no, she said 6 rounds, and she'll be out of here. She'll be done in 6.
She said that right in front of you?
Yeah, I was right there. And so I'm looking like, okay, 6 rounds, all right. So we glove up, and we touch gloves, ding, and we get the boxing. And when I tell you, I wore her ass out. I'm talking about.
When did you know in that sparring session that you knew, like, wait, I'm better than her?
Round 1. Soon as the bell rang, I never thought I wasn't better than her, but I'm like, I don't know what she working with, so let me see what's going on. After the first round, she looked at me and was like, oh, this what we doing? This what we doing? And by the time we got to the 4th round, and it was going to the 5th, she had her hands on her knees, and coach was like, the bell rang for us to go to the 5th. And she said, I'm good. And coach was like, I thought you said you want 6. I said, yeah, you said you want 6. What happened?
Ooh.
I'm talking about she couldn't breathe. And then she got out the ring, she walked up to me, she's touching my hands, she's touching my face, and she was like, those little bitty hands
Like
and
bricks.
those little bitty arms, that was you in there? I was like, yeah. And
It
she
had to
was
feel
like,
good.
And I just remember thinking to myself, if she number 1 in the country,
Number
and she
2
number
in the
2
world.
in the world, I want to find a girl that's number 1 in the world, and I want to fight against her. And from that day, I remember Jason telling me, Rest, you better than what you think you are. You are the best. You the best woman fighter in the world. He's always telling me that. And I was just like, I don't know. And then after that, I was like, maybe I am.
Right.
But that was the first time I ever had that feeling at 15 was like, I was the best was when I sparred against her at 15.
Yeah.
And I beat her up, and I was like, dang.
Shortly after that, at 17, and you were attempting to
go to the Olympics.
And you go for gold. You get gold. What was that moment like?
Going to the London Olympics was a dream come true. You know, I started dreaming about the Olympics when I was 13. I had diaries I wrote, I'm be the first woman to win an Olympic gold medal at 17 for America. I'm going to do it. And then all of a sudden, I win the Olympic trials, and now I'm representing America going to the Olympics. I had just lost my first fight 3 months before the actual Olympics. And so I was 24-1. And so the Olympics was coming up, and I asked myself, how did I lose this fight? Now, I stand on this. They robbed me blind. I won this fight.
Right.
But I said, what did I feel inside the ring? And what I felt inside the ring was, well, first of all, one, I never looked at any footage of my opponent, that particular opponent,
Right.
which was Savannah Marshall. I never looked at any footage of her. So I didn't know she was 6 feet tall. I didn't know she was long like that.
Right.
I didn't know what I needed to know about her.
Yeah.
I was figuring it out in the ring as I go. That's one mistake I made. 2, I didn't check with myself and say, hey, this is a different opponent. This is what she good at. This is what she bad at. This is today's date. This is the location. You do something so much, it feels like it's an everyday thing.
It's routine, yeah.
And I let that get in the way. And then 3, I chased her around the ring and chased her around the ring and chased her around the ring, throwing my punches, landing my shots. And when the fight was over, I remember my legs burnt so bad. I said, why did your legs burn like that? So all these things I took back home after I watched the film, and I said, look, I didn't lose this fight, but I still shouldn't have felt how I felt inside the ring.
I might not have lost it in my mind, but there's things I can take away for future fights.
Exactly. So I said, okay. I got in the gym. Before I lost that fight, I was running maybe 2 miles every other day. Oh, I went from running 4 miles one day, 6 miles the next, 4 miles the next day, 6 miles the next.
Pushing yourself.
Only took off Sundays. I hit the bag till I couldn't hit the bag no more.
Yeah.
I did push-ups till I couldn't do them no more. I was so locked in. So I did that. I go to all my fights. I show out. I win a gold medal. The only person to do it was 2012. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, I can't believe this. I mean, I cried tears of joy for weeks.
Wow.
Weeks. I had to put my gold medal up because every time I looked at it, I was like, oh man, it's too much.
So not only one gold.
Ah man, let's talk about 2 of them. Oh Jesus
2 of them.
Christ. Yeah.
Still the only person in Olympic history, only boxer?
Only woman boxer.
Woman boxer. Only
Yes.
woman boxer to defend a gold medal and win 2.
Yep, and the only boxer to do it ever in America. Yep.
And how did that second one feel?
Well, see, going back to the Olympics the second time, I'm popular now. It's like every time people see me in the village, they're like, let's get a picture, let's do this, let's do that. And every day I'm just excited. I'm so excited. And you won't believe it, but the first fight at the 2016 Olympics, I forgot to eat the day before. I was so excited.
Really?
Forgot to eat.
I know you felt that.
Oh, I felt it in the ring. I was so sluggish, but I made sure I won that fight unanimously. And then the next day I said, hey, So this is my rest day. We're going to make sure we eat, we hydrate. But I was just so excited to be back at the Olympics, to be fighting again. And God had already came to me and told me, you're going to win another Olympic gold medal. And, you know, when God tells you something, you like, to me, that's just solid, valid.
That's a fact.
It's nothing nobody can do. Like, when God told me I would be the first woman to make $1 million in boxing. I kept telling everybody, like, I'm telling you, I know women's boxing ain't nothing right now, but.
You're like, God told me, we cool like that.
God let me know.
We talk all the time.
Seriously.
That's a fact.
And I was like, I know
blessed and highly favored.
A woman boxer had made more than $50,000 at the time,
See,
except Laila.
You're diving into my next question. There was a bias, right, when it comes to women in boxing, no matter how entertaining, how dominant, how good, how competitive they are, no matter how many people watch. You just said it. You had some of the biggest stars in the world looking at you as one of the biggest stars in the world, yet and still the compensation wasn't there. Sometimes the coverage wasn't even there.
Yep.
What was it like at that time to battle that dynamic?
For me, I just told myself, regardless of what they, which is people who didn't believe in women's boxing, about how they felt about it, I said, I'm going to walk in every room as the superstar that I am. My Olympic gold medals may not mean nothing to them.
Right.
But I know that the history that I made is very important and that I'm a legend. So I walk in every room like that. Even when I didn't have the money, I didn't have the deals, I didn't know if I'll be able to fight on TV, I still walked in and I let people know I am one of the best boxers and one of the most famous people here. And I walked in like that from the time I was 17, 21, 25. And then I made $1 million on them. And I was like, I told y'all this was going to happen, didn't I? So, yesterday's price is not today's price.
No doubt. Shout out to Fat Joe. Do you remember your first big endorsement?
Yes.
What was it?
I feel like it was either Dick's Sporting Goods or Powerade.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was 3 years after 2012. So I didn't get any endorsements from 2012 till maybe 2015. And then right before the Olympics, I started getting all these endorsements.
Okay, so let's talk nicknames. So you got T-Rex?
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
That's
Who
the
gave
dog.
you that one?
My training partner, Darian Lawson, gave me that name.
And why did he give you that name?
Back then, I was very tall, but my arms were short. And I was really aggressive, so this is all you really seen in the gym from me.
Pop.
Because I get you.
But you was coming forward, though.
Yeah, I get you.
I'm going to chase you down.
Right, but it may take a minute to get to you, but I'm going to get to you.
Okay. And then there's also Clorenzo. I heard this from
Oh, Jesus Christ.
close. Listen.
It's my alter ego.
Yeah, it's an alter ego, though.
Yeah.
You know, they say fight week, it's not Claressa, it's Clorenzo.
Yes.
How do you change your mindset on fight week?
So I don't control that when
What do you mean?
Clorenzo. I don't control when Clorenzo comes because throughout camp, as I'm working hard and I'm training and I'm losing the weight and I'm dieting, it's like Clorenzo just keeps trying to creep out, and it's like, no, not yet. But it's like my mind is switching to where it's like I'm getting ready for war. I'm getting ready to hurt somebody. I'm tired of training. I'm tired of dieting. I'm ready to go. And Clorenzo is just somebody who only cares about the betterment of my boxing. Anything that gets in the way of that can go.
Yeah.
Whatever I need to get ready for the fight is what I need, and it's nothing I can do about it.
Okay, so the last nickname, the GWOAT.
Greatest woman of all time.
The greatest woman of all time.
Yeah.
Now, it had to be self-proclaimed at first because you saw it. You saw it way before everybody else. Not only did you see it, you had the accomplishments.
Just like Muhammad Ali.
Just like Muhammad Ali.
Because they call him the Louisville Lip.
Yep.
And then when he started calling himself the GOAT, they called him arrogant.
Yep.
But as he's been laid to rest now, and so many years later, who do we consider the greatest of all time?
Ali.
Okay.
Ali. And it's funny, he had to get his flowers after he passed, but that's a whole different conversation. But speaking of the name Ali, Laila Ali, somewhere wires got crossed, there was something lost in communication, and boom, all of a sudden, you guys are going at it in separate interviews. Now, recently she said something about she would hop in the ring with you, and I know she has said this before, but she threw some numbers out there. I think it was 10 to 15 million. Would love to see it. I want to see everybody get paid. But What would happen if she decided to get in boxing shape
Yes.
and hop in the ring with Claressa Shields?
Well, Nate, I will tell you this. She said she would come out of retirement for $15 million, and Win Records has the $15 million, and we let her and everybody around her know that we have $15 million to make a fight between me and
Oh,
her.
there's $15 million on the table.
Yes, there is $15 million, and she is deserving of that. She didn't get her respect and her recognition during her career, and I think she did help pave the way for women's boxing.
See, I love that you said that. Yeah.
You know, she did, and I kind of let it be known at the beginning, like, they tried to put Christy Martin over Laila Ali to me at first, and
Yeah.
I said no.
Right.
It's Laila Ali. Matter of fact, pause. It's Ann Wolfe, then Laila Ali.
Shout out to Ann Wolfe, yeah.
And you never know who was the best out of those two because they never fought.
Right.
But when my dad said yes for me to become a boxer, he said yes because he said, hey, if Muhammad Ali's daughter can box Laila, and she's a bad girl, he said, I'll let you try boxing. So without her, my dad wouldn't even have let me even try. So that's where my respect and my bow down to her came from.
But
Now,
with that said, though,
yeah, but with that being said,
if she hops in the ring with you,
I would love to share the ring with another great woman like myself. I would love to share the ring with Laila Ali. I would love to fight against her. Listen, we're so serious about this. We already done talked to T-Mobile and Cowboy Stadium. They got dates in January and February 2026
y'all
to
would
make
pack
this
it
fight
out.
happen.
I think
This
that'd
will be the
biggest,
fight of the century.
It would be the biggest pay-per-view event we've seen in a long time. Clearly the biggest one in women's sports
Yes.
history.
Yes.
But you didn't answer my question. What would happen?
Listen, Laila can hold her own. People don't know, but Laila is a way bigger woman than me. And I know I don't see myself as being a big woman, but Laila is a little bit taller than me, but she's also longer. She got big hands. She got big feet.
Yeah.
She was meant to be a boxer.
And she could throw them things.
We seen it. She got 21 knockouts. I got 3. Even though I got more belts, but I got 3 knockouts. So I am saying that I think as far as in skill set,
Yeah.
power, this is the battle of the greats. Who is the greatest woman of all time? The only way we're ever going to find this out is if we fight.
Right.
Now, I believe it's me.
Right, of course.
Laila believes it's her.
Right.
She asked for $15 million. I made a couple calls, and they said, hey, we got $15 million, and then we called the stadiums, and we got the venue, we got the money, we got the dates.
Yeah.
I don't see why a fight between me and Laila can't happen if she was serious about the 15
If she's serious
million.
about it, yeah.
If she's serious.
Right.
But if Mike Tyson can fight against Jake Paul, and they're 31 years apart,
Right.
me and Laila can fight, and she's only 17 years
That's real talk.
apart than me. And listen, everybody thought that Muhammad Ali was going to get murdered by Joe Frazier.
Right.
And Muhammad Ali, her daddy came out of retirement and put a beating on Joe Frazier.
Sure did.
Same thing with Foreman.
Sure did.
So she has that legacy in her. And listen, I believe in myself 100%.
Of course.
But I believe that in order for people to see how great she was and to recognize how great I am, we have to get in there.
Yeah.
We have to fight. We have to settle it. And I believe, like I said, it'll be the fight of the century. And I'll let her share the ring with her. 100%.
All right, so you have recently said that you want 2 more fights and then possibly take a break,
Oh,
start
Lord.
a family. I'm just doing my journalistic duties, all right?
Yeah, you caught me off guard with that.
Okay, but that's what you said. You
Yeah.
said, 2 more fights and then you want to take a break, start a family, not saying you might not go back into boxing. Is that still the case?
Yes, that is absolutely true. I do want to start my family next year. I do want to have 2 more fights. If that's a fight this year and a fight next year, or if that's to wait it out and see if we can get the fight with Laila, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I feel like I've accomplished everything in boxing.
Of course.
Like I got 17 world titles. It's about to be 19 July 26th in Detroit. I'm about to take Lonnie 2 belts. It's going to be 19-time world champion. 4-time undisputed champion.
Right.
I did it twice. I did it at 54, twice at 60, and at heavyweight. So yeah, 4-time undisputed champion. The only boxer in history to do that. When Bud beat Canelo, he'd be 3-time undisputed champion.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
still in the lead.
Of course.
Right? But it's more of a thing like, for me, it's like, I don't want to be 40 and 50 trying to have kids.
Right.
I think that I've given boxing
Everything.
everything already from the time of 11 to now I'm 30. I would like to start having my own little goats and goats.
Hey.
My own little rappers and stuff.
Okay. All right.
Next year.
I love that. What does success look like for you right now at this point in your career?
Well, the big picture, I think I've gotten everything except those huge endorsement deals that I feel like I deserve.
Yeah.
And that I can represent these companies and bring them big money and they can bring me big money. I feel like everything else I've kind of gotten. Like, I have the stardom.
Yep.
I'm viral every other day. People paying attention to me.
Yep.
I got good looks. I'm healthy. I'm in shape. I got the belts. I got the house. I got the cars. I think just right now, I think to have a bigger impact on the world, I would love to have just like those big endorsement deals. And I'm had some big ones.
Business aspect of it.
Yeah, and I've had some big endorsement deals, but like the big ones.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. What would you say to that little girl at this point in your career, 30 years old, inside and out of the ring, everything that you have been through, everything that you have seen, that little girl that has had some dark moments, if you could sit down with her on the edge of the bed, put your arm around her, what would you say to her?
I think I would say to little Claressa something that Jason used to always say to me. When I first had my first, suicide attempt, he told me, just keep on living. And I think that I didn't understand what it meant back then, but now I think I would tell my younger self that, because it's like, one thing it's okay to have good days, and you're going to have some bad days, but it's not the end of the world. It does get better, and that's what it did for me. It did get better. Now, do I have every day where I feel like I'm the best in the world and where I feel good and happy? No.
Right.
But I know that only lasts for a little bit. Jeremiah 29:11 is in the Bible. For I got other plans I have for you, plans to give you better hope and give you plans to prosper in the future. Like, that is a quote that I live by, because it may not be good now, because back then it wasn't good. Right. But it was like, but for God have plans for you, to give you plans and to give you hope for a better future and for you to prosper. Do you know what prosper mean? It don't mean like just like go and do something one time and be great. It's like prosper mean like continuous greatness, continuous
blessings abundantly.
Exactly. Because I asked God, I said I want an Olympic gold medal and I want a bed. Two things. I don't want anything else. I just want to win an Olympic gold medal and a bed.
Because you know what it's like to sleep on the floor.
Exactly. So I got two. God helped me get 2 Olympic gold medals.
And you can buy as many beds as you want.
I got a 7-bedroom house here.
Oh.
So, and a pool in the back and a basketball court. I can't shoot.
Okay, it's a nice little form though. It's a nice little form.
And I just feel like I'm able to help my family. You know what I'm saying? To where my sister kids and my brother's kids, my mom, nobody has to live the way that we lived back in the day. We can live better now. So God has done way more for me than I can ever ask for.
One last question just popped up in my head right now. There was a couple of suicide attempts.
2
suicide attempts. After coming out of that, what did you learn about yourself, knowing that you were so close to leaving this earth?
I say this all the time. Don't let what people say about you really get into your mind. And I think that was the hardest part for me when I started going through depression and I was going through anxiety. And
did you know what that was at that age? Because it's hard for us. We don't talk about that in our communities.
At 16, I didn't know what depression was. I just knew what anger was. So then when you mix anger with depression, it's really confusing.
It's dangerous.
So I didn't understand it then. And then the last time, like I said, I still didn't realize that at 16 that's what it was. Then I think I was probably about like 23 or somewhere in there. And then I started going through depression and anxiety at the same time. So I couldn't train. Yeah. I couldn't go to the fights. I'm uncomfortable everywhere. I'm hearing the bad things that people say about me, but
on repeat in your head.
But I'm hearing it in my own voice.
Oh.
And I think that's what we don't like to talk about when it comes to depression.
That's heavy.
Yeah, I never experienced that before, because you said like you said, I'm super confident. I
Right.
believe I'm always bigging myself up no
Yeah.
matter what's going on. But at this
It's one
time,
thing to hear other people say it, but then when it's in your own voice.
and that's almost led to the second time. And I just remember having to, I had to tell people about it. I said, what is it that I'm going through? I don't know what it is. And when I was telling them, I'm like, yo, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I'm crying all the time, I can't train, I can't go to the boxing matches, I'm tired, and people were like, you're depressed, and I'm like, well, what the hell I'm depressed for?
Right.
I got $1 million,
Right.
I got a nice house,
Right.
but I had to look at
But that's all on the surface.
on the surface, and boxing was going great, but it was like boxing going great and boxing camp is going great, and then as soon as camp is over, back to regular life, relationship problems,
Right.
family problems, fighting depression, still trying to be strong for everybody, like you said, superwoman,
Yeah.
and dealing with everybody else's problems.
Yeah.
So I'm
Everybody got their hand out. Everybody
Exactly.
wants something.
And I'm
People are
ignoring
rarely
myself.
showing up for you.
Never
But
show
you
up.
have to show up for everybody else.
So going through that for years and years and years, and then one day you finally just get tired.
Are you an advocate of therapy, not just as an athlete, but also outside of the ring?
Absolutely. I am an advocate of therapy. I think I went to therapy about 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And the stuff that I discovered about myself was very, very shocking. When I was sexually abused at 5, I had to go live with my grandma till I was 10. So I wasn't with my siblings, my little brother, my sister, my older brother. I was basically moved with my grandma. So I was a single child. I was the only child for 5 years. So me and my grandma were close. And then she passed when I was 15.
Ooh.
Right? And she was like my biggest advocate. Like she,
That was your rock.
taught me how to cook,
Yeah.
how to clean. Me and my little sister Brianna are completely different because of my grandma. And when you that close to somebody and you lose them, for me, I didn't have time to mourn. I'm getting ready for the Olympics.
So you never really unpacked that.
No.
Yeah.
And so when I would be having my days where I'm feeling like, I used to be asking God, like, why'd you leave me here with this family? Like, I just cannot.
Right.
Like, my grandma's supposed to be here to help me deal with them because
Right.
she dealt with everybody with grace.
Right. And you were so young.
Yeah, I'm just like, now grandma always told me, like, you're going to have to be the one to look after your family. She was always telling me stuff like that, but I'd be like, Grandma, I'm not dealing with these people.
Yeah.
But she dealt with everybody. So now I feel those shoes now, but I had to let her go. And it was so hard to do because I wanted to pretend that she was still here because it hurt too bad. Like it hurt me not to talk about it. She was everything to me.
Yeah.
So it was just like when I talked to my therapist and he mentioned that and he just was like, you have to go visit her and you have to let some balloons off and all this stuff. And I just was like, nah. So when I finally did it, it brought me some of my family closer together, but it still hurt though.
Yeah, of course.
It still hurt all
Of
the
course.
time.
Last thing, and you can't answer this with quote.
Okay.
I'm going to let you finish the sentence. Claressa Shields is.
The best ever. That's all I can say. You said I can't say the greatest one of all time.
Yeah.
Or Claressa Shields is the most dominant. Claressa Shields is the nicest. Claressa Shields is the coldest.
Oh,
whatever
okay.
Anything that got to do with being the best
Yeah.
is up there.
All right. Well, I'll finish it my way. Claressa Shields is one of the most iconic people to ever walk this earth, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Of course.